mom's cooking, then she'll usually like rice swirls and some sort of meat, either chicken or what else do you make? Like pork, beef. We're all in the living room, and then she'll tell us dinner's ready, and then like one by one we'll all just get in here. And we're all eating dinner together.
And what do? You help.
You help out.
Nia helps make plates for her brothers.
I make plates for Caleb and Cade.
Yeah.
Sunday dinner, is big for me. I always had Sunday dinner, so it's kind of like one of the big things for
became our
me
tradition
growing up.
Yeah.
So that I kind of insist on having every week with the kids. Hopefully they appreciate it and carried on to their families.
So my name is Neva and this is Nia.
Hi.
And I'm going to make a couple of things actually. I'm gonna make oxtail, my version of traditional Jamaican style oxtail, and then I'm going to bake some chicken too because my kids don't really care for oxtail, so I want them to, have something that they might eat. They're a little picky. And then I'm gonna do rice and peas, and then I'm gonna do a salad with it, like a coleslaw type of salad. Black people back in the day, they were unable to get the more expensive cuts of meat. So it's one of those things that was just the leftover part of the animal that nobody wanted. So it's a tougher cut of meat. If you don't let it cook down, it's not very appetizing unless you know how to cook it. Kind of like chitlins and pig's feet and all of those things that we've made into delicacies in a way. It's something that I've learned how to make over the years being with my husband. This is one of his favorite things to eat.
How did he learn how to cook this?
Oh, he was always in the kitchen. It was like a requirement for all of them, him and his siblings. My mom, she was a single parent, so it was a lot of convenience foods, but also homemade foods. I would say, my mom calls it semi-homemade, is what she would say. But I would say more of, I remember my grandmother, she cooked a lot of stuff like that, like liver and onions and stuff like that I didn't necessarily like as a kid. These are seasonings that I grew up using. My mom, I feel like she seasoned everything with Lowry's, garlic powder, onion powder. I've added in Slap Your Mamas because I like this stuff, and Sazon seasoning I like the color that it gives food.
I think it's actually interesting.
Yeah, it's a requirement at this point, but I encourage my middle son anyway to cook with me because, he likes it. Certain things that we're doing anyway in here that I know he'll be interested in, like if we're baking, for instance. I do think it should be a family thing. But right now it's mostly just me. That's why, I'm usually in here by myself. I come in here and I turn Pandora on and I just cook. Unless, like I said, it's a big event, then we'll all be in here together. And same with Kirk, even when he's here, sometimes he'll sit right at the island like Nia is. And that's how we engage, but I guess his cooking days are over, what he says anyway. A little bit of ACV. And then we need some butter. All right, there we go. Yeah, it's always been me and my mom cooking. When my now that I think about it, when my grandma was around though, we used to do things together too.
For me, growing up, my mom did all the cooking. My brothers knew how to cook, I knew how to cook, but we never cooked. But I picked up cooking just because she was always cooking.
Yeah.
Breakfast, lunch, dinner, everything was cooked. So just running in and out of the kitchen, we just kind of picked up on how things are things were done. We used to do this thing in Jamaica. They call it run a boat. You know, so for instance, you know, I would have an ackee tree in my yard, so I would bring ackee, and then you know somebody might have flour in his flour, and they would bring that. It would just kind of create like this potluck, and you know we would all cook, and that's kind of like how you know once again the experiment in trying. It might not be as good as you know mom did, but that kind of just like honed it and made it better. As you get older, you just kind of learned how to do it.
My mom definitely taught me the stuff that she knew how to cook. And then, yeah, a lot of observation. And I have to give credit to Kirk, too. I know he's waiting for
over
it.
here waiting
I know
for
he's
it.
waiting for it. He did, because, like, you know, like I mentioned, my mom did semi-homemade stuff. And his family, like, they did, everything was homemade. Everything was made from scratch. And so I definitely picked that up from Kirk once we, you know, started living together. The rice is definitely something I feel like I've perfected over the years. I don't say that about too many things. Watch me mess up the rice today because I said that. So Kirk and I had just moved in together, our very first apartment, and I'm still getting used to his culture and you know the foods and everything else. It was still pretty new to cooking. This was like 15 years ago, and you know just the terminologies that they use, that Jamaican people use when referring to what Americans would say rice and beans, they would say rice and peas. And so, you know, remember I was making the rice, it was white rice in the pot, and he was like, all right, so add the peas in there. And so I took a can of green peas, because those are peas to Americans, and I added them into the rice, and it was just, he made fun of me for that. And he even called his mom to have a good laugh. She added peas into the rice. So, but she actually had my back because she was like, you should have told her to put beans in there, not. But, you know. All of these vegetables will break down as it cooks and add to the gravy, the sauce, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, it does, of course, adds to the flavor as well.
So is there a big or small Jamaican community in this area?
This area?
In North Smithfield, because there's no black people here in general.
There's a handful.
I identify as black because
Because you're black.
I'm black, but also because like I wouldn't say that I'm African American because I'm not just African American, because I feel like a little bit of everything. So like,
What do you mean?
like
Yeah, a little bit of everything.
so I'm African, I'm American, then I'm also Jamaican. So take all of that. So I just say I'm black because it's
Too many labels.
Too much.
too much stuff. So put it all in one.
Two meals that was consistent in growing up was Sunday dinner, rice and peas and some form of protein on Sunday, and you know on Saturday it was soup.
Soup on Saturday is definitely a Jamaican thing, and yeah, rice
I
and
know
peas
definitely Sunday rice and peas is definitely Jamaican, the whole thing, you know. But I don't know about the soup.
soup is.
You know, I think I would say it is. You know, as we're older now, you know, like why are we always eating on drinking soup on a Saturday? My mom doesn't know. Just like that's what she did when she was growing up. So it was just like that's what we did. So we just kept it going. You know, I can't get both, so I chose Sunday meals to make that my consistent meal.
Anybody who cooks oxtail in any pot that doesn't look like that, I wouldn't trust. No, I'm playing. So I'm taking the meat and I'm kind of separating it from the vegetables, just a little bit, because I don't want to add the vegetables in yet. I just want to try to get all the meat in. Okay. So the water is adding, well, it's gonna simmer in the liquid, but you know, it adds to the gravy, to the meat, and it helps to get it nice and tender as it simmers. over time. And I'll, like, as it's gonna cook, the water's gonna continue to like boil down and boil down. I'm gonna have to keep adding more. And I want them to learn. Same mindset that my mom had, just wanting them to be able to take care of themselves. So I need for them to be able to cook for themselves and to have a decent meal if they're living on their own, and not have it just be peanut butter and jelly or grilled cheese every day. Just, you know, fresh fruits and vegetables and things like that are important. When I was a kid, the way that they used to make it is definitely different from how I make them now. I add some things in there that my mom probably wouldn't add in. They used to just let the greens take on the seasoning from whatever smoked meat they put in the pot. And I do that too, but now, like, I feel like everything is cooked with chicken broth nowadays, and I add chicken broth to mine, and my mom, I remember her like side-eyeing it, like, what are you doing? Like, why are you putting that in there, kind of thing. But it's just, you know, flavors change, and, you know, people's taste buds change, I guess, and, you know, just a little open to more seasonings and different flavors, so.
And you do the same thing with rice and peas.
I don't put chicken broth in there.
Experiment with
I
stuff.
have put chicken broth in my rice and peas, and those are good. I don't know what you're talking about, but I don't anymore, because, yeah, he was looking at that too. Like, why? I do. I love chicken broth. I cook with it a lot. So. All right, so that's gonna work for a little bit, and I will.
Like growing up, everything was done, was cooked traditionally. You know, like now, you know, on pot, on a stove. Yeah, to get it, it was more like fresh ingredients when, you know, growing up, and like now it's kind of like
Canned stuff.
Everything is like in a can. You know, your thyme is, you know, dehydrated, and it's in your, you know, it's in a jar that you get, you know, everything, your, you know, pimentos, you know, your seasonings that, you know, are all like, they're not fresh. So now, you know, rice and peas now here is cooked in a rice cooker as opposed to on the stove, you know, and it tastes different. But it's kind of just like convenience and kind of adapting to, I guess, our busy lives and transitioning to, you know, still trying to keep that core, still try to keep the foods that you grew up eating and still living, you know, transition life.
It's looking good so far. You can see that my pepper has deflated, so I'm gonna remove him from the situation, because now I think it's gonna be spicy. That looks good.
Coming to the U.S. was, you know, was a big step. You figure, you know, you have your entire family established in a country, and then, hey, you know, let's try to do something different. And to make that jump is, you know, big on my parents' part and a big decision. But so how it applies to like cooking, it was just really weird seeing it happen now. You know, it was really weird. For a long time, we really didn't do a lot of traditional meals that we had. But, you know, as time went on and, you know, mom working more, dad's working, and it kind of became, you know, hey, this is what you got. You know, you gotta make do, you know.
There's a lot of sauce. I might have to put some more cornstarch. We'll see. All right, I'm counting, so you can't talk to me anymore. So that's one. I'm gonna do some water. We'll do some thyme leaves. Some extra virgin coconut oil. Put that in there. Scotch bonnet pepper sauce. Some allspice, ginger, some pepper.
Give me peppers, peppers, peppers.
I will give you some peppers. So you got one there.
A pepper. What am I gonna do with one pepper?
Caleb, you don't have to eat it.
Oh, take a bite.
One bite.
I just think it's probably
Oh, it is good.
this is trying to get a chunk.
I'm trying to get it all together.
I love chicken.